सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। Hari Om. So we are into the 12th day of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Shravana Sadhana Yajna, in the vision of Bhagavan Sri Shankaracharya. So yesterday we saw the ladder of fall in terms of contemplation on the objects of the senses and how the mind gets disturbed because of that and it enters into complete delusion or moha. And this comes part of the Sthita Prajna Lakshana, or the definition of who is a Sthita Prajna or a person of steady wisdom. After Arjuna asked the question, what are the qualities of a Sthita Prajna? And Bhagavan Shri Krishna is answering. So here, the 67th verse today. Yesterday, the 66th verse. How can one person have quietude of mind if they are not able to have the right bhava or contemplation on the self? Ayukta. How can the person who is not integrated in body, mind, intellect, thought, emotions are not one? They are not functioning at one point, single pointedly. They are just scattered in many ways. There is one thought happening, one emotion happening, one different kind of speech happening, different kind of action happening, and the senses are all seeing in different directions. I see something, ears want to hear something, the nose wants to smell something different, the tongue wants to taste something different. So there is no coherence in that person's life. So that's an ayukta. Such a person cannot have bhavana or one pointed contemplation or meditation. And if there is no buddhi, buddhi means the single pointed desire to integrate everything, to know what is truth, what is not the truth, and to choose truth and to drop what is not reality. That is buddhi. If buddhi is not there, there will be no integration. If integration is not there, contemplation is not possible. If contemplation is not possible, there is no question of peace in that person's mind. When there is no peace in that person's mind, how can that person have sukha or joy? So the next verse, 67th verse, it ayuktasya kasmat buddhihi na asti iti uchyati. How does the person who does not have an integrity of thought and emotion, thought and feeling, how does he not have buddhi? What is the meaning of not having buddhi? 67th verse. Indriyanam hi charatam yan mano nu vidhiyate tadasya harati prajñam vayurnavamivambhasi. Indriyanam hi yasmat charatam. The one person who is functioning in the world of objects of the senses, like going in the direction of what one likes to see, going after what one likes to hear, what one likes to taste, what one likes to smell, what one likes to touch, what one likes to hold with the hands, where one likes to go with the legs, and what one likes to feel with the skin, what one likes to speak, speaking what one wishes to speak, and not one ought to speak, or what is appropriate to speak. So, in any using any of the sense organs, if a person is going in any direction they please, such a person indriyanam hi yasmacharatam sarva vishayeshu pravartamanam yat manaha anuvidhiyate anupravartate. Such a person's mind goes behind all these sense objects that the senses are going behind. Indriya Vishaya Vikalpe Pravrittam Manaha Asya Yatehe Harati Prajnam. Such a person's intellect, or intellect is the one that's a driving force that has got the energy and the strength to propel us in a particular direction in life in terms of the work that we need to do. Prajnam Harati Atma Anatma Vivekajam Nashayati. So, such a person's buddhi does not have the distinguishing between what is self and what is not self, what is consciousness and what is everything other than consciousness. The distinguishing is lost when the senses are following the objects of senses, and indriyanam hi sarva vishayeshu pravartamanam. If the senses are going in different directions. So, what is the example that Bhagavan Shri Krishna gives here to Arjuna? Katham vayuhu navam iva ambhasi udake jigamishata margat udhritya unmarge yatha vayuhu navam pravartayati evam atma vishayam prajnam hrutva mano vishaya vishayam karoti. So, the intellect removes the mind from contemplation of the self and engages the mind to go behind the senses, which is going to go in different directions. Like when the sail, the intellect is like the sail in a ship, and when the wind blows, the sail goes in a different direction. The wind blows from many directions. The sail is just the ship is lost in the high seas because the sail is not taking the ship in the direction it requires to go, and it just gets pulled here or pulled there according to the direction of the wind. Mano vishaya vishayam karoti. So wherever the mind likes to go, whatever the mind likes to do, it is being pulled here and there in that direction. Yatataha hi api iti upanyastasya arthasya anekadha upapattim uktva tam cha artham upapadya upasamharati. Even the person, the 60th verse says, Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. So the person's intelligence or intellect is being pulled by different directions. Haranti prasabham. It forcefully pulls the mind away into the different directions. So concluding that here, Bhagavan Shri Krishna tells Arjuna, it is very important therefore to bring all the senses to one point, control the senses, or make all the senses function towards one objective or one goal, not each sense going in different direction. Tasmadyasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya prajna pratisthita. So whose intellect is established in the self, tasya prajna, prakarshena jna. What I know, that is my knowledge, is established. Means I know who I am. That is the established state of knowledge. Otherwise, I know what I see, I know what I hear, I know what I think, I know what I taste. I know so many things in this world. The sense organs are there, the different thoughts are there, the different emotions are there, the different sensations are there in the body. So many things are there to know. But there is one thing, if I know, the mind becomes steady, and that is the self. Tasmad yasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvashah. For that person whom all the senses are brought under control, are reined in, indriyani, from where are they reined in? Indriyani, indriya arthebhyaha. The senses go behind the objects of the pleasures of the senses. What are they? The sense of seeing goes behind the object of form. The sense of hearing goes after the object of sound. The sense of smelling goes after the object of smell. The sense of tasting goes behind the object of taste. And the sense of skin, touching, goes behind the object of touch, sensation. So in this way, you prevent the senses from going behind those objects. That is damanam. The name of Bharat comes from this Shakuntala's son, who is called Bharat, and his original name was Sarva Damana. He was having a very good control, and he used to fight. When he was a small boy, he was fighting with tigers, and so he is called, like, tigers were his play animals, and he used to have false fights with them, and so he is called Sarva Damana. So Damana means to rein in the senses, to control the senses. Sarvashaha indriyani indriya arthebhyaha, from the sense organs, from the sense objects, bring them back. Such a person's prajna, tasya prajna pratishtita. So Bhagavan Adisankaracharya says, Indriyanam pravruttau dosha upapadito yasmat tasmat tasya yatehe mahabaho nigrihitani sarvashaha sarvaprakaraihi manasadi bhedaihi indriyani indriyarthebhyaha shabdadibhyaha tasya prajna pratishtita. That person's intellect is established when he is controlling all the objects of the sense objects. Tasmad yasya yatehe mahabaho nigrihitani, who is controlling all the senses. Yaha ayam laukikaha vaidikaha cha vyavaharaha sa utpanna viveka jnanasya sthita prajnasya avidya karyatva. So we engage in actions in the world, whether it is material actions or religious and spiritual action. Religious actions, Vaidikaha, according to the Vedas, Vyavaharaha, Utpanna Viveka Jnanasya Sthita Prajnasya Avidya Karyatvat Avidya Nivrittau Nivartate. So since these actions are born out of ignorance of who I am, when I have the knowledge of who I am, there is no need for the person to do any action as such in the world. So, since avidya is not there, since the knowledge that I am this body, I am this mind is gone for that person, even actions are also gone. Avidyayaha cha vidya virodhat nivrittihi iti etam artham sputi kurvan aha. So how does avidya go? Avidya goes away because it is against vidya. When you bring in knowledge, ignorance goes away. When you bring in light, darkness goes away. So to establish this, to establish the need of bringing in knowledge in our life, to drive away ignorance, this 69th verse. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. So this is actually a very simple verse, but the explanation is very much in detail in the Shankara Bhashya. We will see a few important lines here. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam samyami jagarti. Samyami is the one person who is very focused, who has got dharana or concentration on the thought that he is having in the mind, whatever thought that is, dharana. He is meditating upon that thought, and then he is also absorbed in that thought. Such a person is called a samyami. Samyak yamaha, completely integrated the mind, samyami. Jagarti, that person who is awake, the samyami. What does he do? Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti. Whatever is night time for all beings, in that he is very much awake. So what is night time? Like the owl, which has got eyes to see at night, but it cannot see during daytime. In the same way, all beings are awake in darkness. They are awake in avidya, meaning they are awake to the objects of the senses. They are awake to the thoughts of the expressions of the mind, and they are awake means they just go behind all that. They want all that. They go behind that. In that area, in that region, the samyami, the one who is having controlled senses and a very focused mind, he is very much awake in that place. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. So where the beings are all very okay. Ya nisha sarva, sorry, ya nisha sarva bhutanam. The self or consciousness is darkness for all beings. They don't know what is consciousness, what is self. They just live a life of material pleasures. They live a life of thoughts, emotions, interactions, making loud noises, disturbing others, giving trouble to others. They are all badhakas in life because they do not know the truth. They do not know what you should strive for in life. And so, even when they are surrounded by such people, they are so much immersed in their own actions and their thoughts and their behaviors that they do not give any consideration to others and they disturb others. Amid such people, living amid such people, the Samyami is very much awake because he is awake to the truth within. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. The muni or munehe bhavam maunam. The one who has got a very contemplative mind is a muni. The muni thinks, what is night? If suppose the person who is living a life of sense pleasures is going to a party, enjoying somewhere, and relishing something in the world outside, drinking, smoking, gambling, going to the movies, there is nothing wrong about it, but it is what is it that I want to do with myself in my life is a very important question. If I want to realize who I am, and if I want to attain self realization and liberation, then this is not the path for me. If I don't want to if I don't have an idea about what is self realization, if I don't have an idea about what is liberation, and I don't even want to know, and even if I know that there are people doing all that, I don't want to have anything to do with that, then there is no harm in enjoying the world for such people. But if you have an inkling of an idea about what is self and what does it take to realize the self, and if you want to move in that direction, yasyam jagrati bhutani, so where those beings of the world are engaged in, where those beings of the world are engaged in or waking up to the world of sense organs and sense pleasures, sa nisha pashyato munehe. The muni or the contemplative one shuts his eyes to those areas where people are engaged in self pleasures and enjoyments of the senses. Ya nisha ratrihi sarva padarthanam avivekakari tamaha swabhavatvat sarvesham bhutanam sarva bhutanam. For all beings in this world, What is Ratri? Ratri is the night time. Sarva padarthanam avivekakari tamaha. Tamas, or ignorance of what is the nature of every object. What is it that, like, if we inquire into the nature of anything, we will never make the normal mistakes that we make in life, whether it's a bottle of alcohol or cigarette, or whether it is all the unnecessary foods that we may try to take in because we like certain tastes. When we inquire into that with our thoughts, we will not take those things. So that is what tamas is. Tamas, or darkness, is aviveka, the lack of discrimination between what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what is what should be done, what should not be done, and what is, who am I and what is not I. These are main discriminations. If we are not, if we are ignorant of that, it is a state of tamas. Kim tat paramartha tattvam sthita prajnasya vishayah yatha naktancharanam ahaha eva sat anyesham nisha bhavati tadvat naktamcharasthaniyanam ajnanam sarvabhutanam nisha eva nisha paramartha tattvam agocharatvat atat buddhinam. For the people who have got atat buddhi, means they are established in what is not the self. The body is not the self. The body can disintegrate, the body goes away. It does not have a permanent position in this existence, in this cosmos. Atat buddhi. So they are having the body's self consciousness, body is I consciousness. Agocharatvat paramartha tattvam. For those people, the supreme truth is not known to their senses. And so sarvabhutanam ajnanam nisha iva nisha. Naktanchara sthani, just like the human beings who are not aware of the true self are having fun with the pleasures of the senses, the sthita prajna, the one of steady wisdom, who is aware of the true self, is for him, the sense pleasures is like experiencing night. He is not aware of that. He does not have any discrimination about that. He doesn't even turn in that direction. He is just as if he is asleep. So we will move into the next verse from this. This has got a big explanation, but basically the same thing of what is night for one is waking time for the other. What is night for the other is waking time for this group of people. And where do we want to stand? We have to decide about what is the goal of our life and what do we want to do with our life. And the next verse, it goes like vidushaha tyakta eshanasya sthita prajnasya yatehe eva moksha praptihi natu asanyasinaha kama kamina iti etam artham drishtantena pratipadayishyata aha. So for the one who has given up the three main ishanas or desires, putreshana, vitteshana, lokeshana. Putreshana is to have many people around us, many supportive persons around us. Basically, putra means children. Basically, praja is like very well born around us. We have people manifested around us. We say my people. So that is putreshana, having desire for having lots of people around us. Vitteshana, having desire for wealth around us. Lokeshana is having desire to see many things in the world, house and other objects of the world. One who has given up these three desires, the main desires, Eshana Traya Tyaktasya Sthita Prajna. So that person is called a person with steady intellect. Yatehe, the one who strives towards the state of attaining that state of self-realization is a yati, also called a sannyasi, but yati means the one who does yatnam. Yatnam is to strive towards that. Eva moksha praptihi natu asanyasinaha kama kaminaha. Only for such people is realization possible. When you leave these three main desires and you strive towards liberation, not for the one who does not give up, not for the one who is going behind all the pleasures of the senses. Iti etam arthaha. There is a drishtanta. There is an example through which this is explained. Aporyamanam achala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kama kami. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham. There is an ocean which is filled with water on all sides, and it is full. It is not overflowing, it is full. It is established like a mountain, steady like a mountain. Samudram apaha yadvat pravishanti. In such an ocean, rivers are entering. The ocean does not overflow because the river Ganga is every day pouring into the ocean and into the Arabian Sea. There are so many rivers that are flowing in on a day-to-day basis. Gallons of water are going to the river. The ocean does not overflow. The ocean does not swell. Just like how they remain steady despite the rivers flowing in. Tadvat sarve kama yam pravishanti sa shanti mapnoti na kama kami. A person who does not hanker after desires remains like an ocean where all desires may come and pour into that person. All the things that everybody wishes. Desires are like rivers, and they may come and pour into that ocean of the self, of consciousness, and this person remains unmoved like that steady ocean, standing like a mountain, not swelling, not becoming less because today some river has not come, or not excited and overjoyed because today two rivers are overflowing into it. Nothing like that. There is no difference in the ocean. In the same way, there is no difference in this person of contemplation of the self, even as all the desires of the world may be pouring into him. Apuryamanam adbihi achala pratishtham achalataya pratishtha avasthitihi yasya tam achala pratishtham samudram apaha parvataha gataha pravishanti swatmastam avikriyam eva santam yadvat. So the same meaning, like remaining like the ocean, even despite the rivers emptying their waters into it. Tadvat kama vishaya sannidhau api sarvata ichha vishesha yam purusham samudram iva apaha abhi vikurvantaha pravishanti sarve atmani eva praliyante na svatmavasham kurvanti. So all the desires, even the desires of the objects, are all existing around that person. That person remains like an ocean where all the desires, he is not pulling any desire to himself. The desires just flow on their own accord into this person, and he is unmoved because he has identified himself with that consciousness, which is not of the desires, not of the body, not of the mind. Sa shantim moksham apnoti na itaraha kama kami kamyante iti kama vishayaha tan kamayitum shilam yasya na sa kama kami na eva prapnoti. Only such a person attains moksha. Moksha means freedom. How is it freedom attained? By knowing truly who I am. Such a person alone attains, and not the one who hankers after things, hankers after desires. Yasmat evam tasmat. The why is it so? Why does it happen so? Vihaya kamanyas sarvana pumanscharati nisprihaha nirmamo nirahankaraha sashantim adhigacchati. The person, it enters the state of shanti. The person enters the state of peace. The person enters the state of peace. So I will continue maybe tomorrow. I have to go for some important work. Vihaya, we'll complete this verse. Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumam sharati nispriha nirmamo nirahankaraha sashantim adhigacchati. And then Esha brahmi sthiti partha nainam prapya vimukhyati sthitva syamanta kalepi brahma nirvana mrichyati So vihaya kamanya sarvam pumam sharati nisprihaha. Giving up all desires, the individual moves around the world without any attachment. And how is he? He is nirmamaha. He does not have the sense of I-ness. Nirahankaraha. He does not feel nirmama is mine. This belongs to me. That belongs to me. This thought is not there. Nirahankaraha. He does not have the thought of I am doing this. This is my action. This is my creation. Such a person alone attains the peace of Shanti, the state of peace. Sashantim adhigacchati. And what happens to that person? He attains the Brahmi sthitihi. This is that the state of peace of mind, Shanti, where nothing belongs to me and I belong to no one. So that state of existence of mind, Esham Brahmi sthitihi, Partha, na yenam prapya vimuhyati. So when that person attains this Brahmi sthiti, this state of peace, the state of realization, sthitvasyam antakalepi, even at the time of death, even when the person becomes very old, if they attain the state of mind, Brahma Nirvanam Richati, they attain that state of Brahma Nirvana, or the unshakable state of Brahma. Nirvana means no movement. Brahma Nirvana means their contemplation, their thought is very steady at the point of death. Richati. So even for a very old person who is able to attain the state at the time of death, becomes Mukta Purusha, Brahmi Sthiti. He attains that state of Brahman. Then what to say of people who are contemplating and meditating from their childhood? That's what Bhagavan Adisankaracharya says. From the state of Brahmacharya, if they take up this contemplation and meditation, they work with these sadhanas, what to say of those people? Definitely it is going to be, that is going to be their state of mind. So all our work, all our sadhanas is to prepare the state of mind when after the point of death, there is no work that can be done on the mind. Only after the point the physical body is there, work is possible on the mind. So at that time, to get the mind to the state of Brahma Nirvana is very important. And stitva asyam stitau brahmyam yathoktayam antakale api ante vayasi api Brahma Nirvanam Brahma Nirvrittim moksham richati gacchati kimu vaktavyam brahmacharyat eva sanyasya yava jivam yo brahmani eva avatishthante sa Brahma Nirvanam richati iti. So what to say of these youngsters who, when from the time of the brahmacharya period, they are very focused on this, that they want to attain that state of mind which it does not move, like it is established like Brahman. It is definitely going to happen for them. This is the blessing of Bhagavan Adisankaracharya and Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So may we take up sadhana and move on this path of Brahma Nirvanam as we conclude with the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga of the Bhagavad Gita. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyodhyayaha. Thus, this is Sankalpa Vakya. Tat Sat Iti. It ends. Om is the name of Brahman. Tat, that is Sat. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu. In this Upanishad called Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is also Brahma Vidya, knowledge of Brahman, and Yoga Shastra, a text of enlightenment on yoga, and the conversation between Shri Krishna and Arjuna, it is called Sankhya Yoga, the name of terminology, the different terms of who are the people, what states of mind are there. Nama Dvitiyaha Adhyayaha. The second chapter concludes here, and we will begin with the third chapter tomorrow. For the next 4 days, we will look into the chapter 3 or Karma Yoga of the Bhagavad Gita. Jaya Hari Govinda Jaya Nanda Lala Jaya Hari Govinda Jaya Nanda Lala Radha Lola Rasa Vilola राधालोला रासविलोला त्रिभुवन परिपाल दीनदयाला त्रिभुवन परिपाल दीनदयाला जय हरि गोविंद जय नंदलाला जय हरि गोविंद जय नंदलाला ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय हर नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव हरि ओम